Hypothyroid stages of grief. Let's go through them because they're real. And many of you have already been through some of these stages. I think it's important to understand them in order to understand where you are in your journey and kind of what to expect. Let's just be real and lay it out there on the table in terms of where you're at in your journey and proper expectations. So the hypothyroid stages of grief. First, you go through stage 1, which is where you're experiencing symptoms. And I like to call this the gaslighting stage because this is where you are going to be bouncing from doctor to doctor and asking your doc what is wrong because you have all of these symptoms. Maybe you wrote them out like you heard me tell you to do, bullet list your symptoms out, take them to your doctor. And this is where you will most likely get tested, not thoroughly tested, but you'll get a couple tests to which you will hear you're normal, everything's fine. And the reason why I say this is the gaslighting stage is because this is where you'll leave the office and you'll start to question yourself. And you'll start to question, maybe I am eating too much. Maybe I need to work out more. Am I losing my mind? Maybe I'm crazy. The doctor said I was normal. Am I normal? I don't feel normal. What should I do? Maybe I should go on a fad diet. Maybe I should buy a ton of supplements and try those because I saw them on Facebook. And this is where you will start literally questioning your own sanity because your doctor or doctors, if you've been to multiple like I have, like I did, are telling you that you're normal and everything is fine. So you start thinking and blaming yourself. Maybe you go through the process of saying, well, I am getting older. To which I say, you do not throw in the towel just because you crest the age of 40 or 50. No, that does not mean that you have to live the rest of your life miserable, fat, and tired and depressed and bald. Don't blame yourself in this phase. I know it's a common phase to go through. We've all been through it. Anyone who is now optimized and feeling great, we can easily look back and say, oh yeah, I went through those phases. I went through that gaslighting phase for sure. And now I'm on the other side and I know better. But many of you are still in phase 1 and you're still searching. I get so many questions on Facebook that I tend to forget that some people are just now finding me because they'll say, but Dr. Amie, my doctor said I was normal, but my labs are normal, but I was told I was normal. And they don't list the labs they got done and they don't list the number. They're just saying that my doctor told me I was normal, but I don't feel it. I have all those symptoms that you listed above. That is phase 1. That is the gaslighting phase. Phase 2 is after you have been diagnosed and you are happy. If you've heard my story, I always tell the story of how when I got the diagnosis and I was told that I was going to get Synthroid, I was like, yay, there's a pill that's going to fix me. Now this is way, way, way long ago, long before I stepped into the functional medicine space and learned what I'm now teaching you and what I use to help my patients. But this was the typical phase of happiness to be diagnosed. That diagnosis stage where you're pumped up because you think that there's a magic pill. And you take the pill and you're happy and you skip out of your doctor's office and you're like, yes, now I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to feel better. This is the false belief stage. This is where you're diagnosed and you're super happy and your hopes will be crushed in the next 1 to 5 months when you realize that nothing is changing. Zero, nothing. And that pill that you received is not a magic pill at all. And it doesn't seem to be doing anything. In fact, maybe you're even getting worse. So that's stage 2. And this can apply, by the way, to Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. I say hypothyroidism because it encompasses Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is the autoimmune form of hypothyroidism. So I like to kind of just, lump it all together. We'll just say hypo. Okay. Then after you go through that stage 2, you move into the inquisitive and yet pissed off stage. That's stage 3, inquisitive and pissed off. This is where you start doing the Dr. Google search. You start jumping in Facebook groups. You start asking questions because you're like, okay, what I'm taking isn't working. Obviously, the doctor I saw that diagnosed me, who gave me the what I thought to be a magic pill, is not my miracle worker, not my savior. And this magic pill is not magic at all. It's not doing anything. So this is where you start to get inquisitive. You're like, you know what? There has to be more to this. There has to be more answers. There has to be more answers out there. Somebody must know what the hell they're doing. Is anybody else going through this? Am I alone in this? Why isn't this pill working? Do I need something else? Is there anybody out there that knows anything? That's stage 3. Stage 4 is the it's not fair stage. So stage 4 is where you start to realize that there's other people out there that are optimized. And then you start comparing yourself with your friends that don't have a thyroid problem. And you may have started like cleaning up your diet, right? And you're like, okay, I'm going to go gluten-free because I heard it was really good. In the inquisitive stage, you learn that you need to go gluten-free if you have Hashimoto's. And then, gluten-free is pretty good for everybody. It takes down inflammation. Maybe my thyroid and this little magic pill that I got will work better if I make some changes. So you start making changes and you look at your friends, and Susie Q over here, who's your friend, is losing weight, and Pam over here is losing weight, and they both look great and feel great, and you're just stuck. And then you start going into the it's not fair. It's not freaking fair that I have hypothyroidism. Why don't my friends have hypothyroid? Why are they struggling like I'm struggling? Why is it me? Why do I have to watch every little freaking thing that goes into my mouth? Why is it that when I look sideways at a brownie that I gain 10 pounds? It's not fair. It's not fair. Then you move into stage 5, and that's called the screw it syndrome. Screw it phase. I have a whole podcast on this, and it's real. This is where then you just go off the rails. You go, well, screw it. This magic pill isn't working. Nobody knows what they're talking about. I can't find any answers. I can't find any doctors that tell me. We got Susie Q and Pam. They're doing their own thing and they're losing weight. Screw it. Nothing I do works anyways. I'm just going to eat whatever the hell I want to. I'm going to do whatever I want to. And you move through the screw it phase for anywhere between a week to like 6 to 8 weeks. Because then the scale really starts moving in the upwards direction and you start feeling even more tired and maybe you lose some more hair. And then you hit a breaking point where you're like, I can't pull this off anymore. I'm done with my screw it phase. Now I need to move into the fix it phase. So now we're moving into stage 6. You're kind of starting to come out of grieving. You've left behind the anger, the frustration, the screw it, the it's not fair. Yes, you had a phase where you had a little bit of hope and a glimmer of light. Yeah, you left that behind too, but you're going to pick up that hope in stage 6. So this is where you actually buckle down and you go, you know what? Enough with the searches and the opinions on Facebook and the ads on Instagram and all the latest fad supplements. I'm going to do something. So you get on, you start asking questions, you start asking your friends, you start asking anyone else who has gone through all these stages, who has had and actually been diagnosed with hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's and look pretty damn good. And they look like they have a great life. So ask around, you start asking around, you start getting a little more, some of the inquisitiveness starts to come in this stage as well, because you start really diving into the different information online and you start finding people who are actual experts like myself. I'm going to pat myself on the back here. Abso-freaking-lutely, because there's very few thyroid experts out there. Very, very few. And again, if you see functional medicine, that does not mean that they know thyroid and hormones. That does not mean. And actually, I would actually put a different stage in there too. It would probably be stage like 3.5, 3.5, which is called the gut stage. This is where you think that healing your gut is going to fix all your problems, because there's so many damn gut supplements and ads and specialists and information. And the gut by far is important. Our immune system starts in the gut. A lot of autoimmune conditions are connected to the gut. Some of that constipation that you feel from hypothyroidism, issues with the gut, inflammation in the gut. So there's that 3.5 stage too, where you try to do everything gut related, and you've been taking probiotics for about a year now, 2 years, same damn probiotic day after day, month after month, and year after year, to no avail, because nothing really changed, even though you focus on your gut. So now we're in a latter stage where a lot of those feelings start to creep in, but you really start to buckle down and you find an expert like myself, and you go, you know what? I'm going to listen to just one person, maybe two. I'm not going to listen to 5 different podcasts. I'm going to focus on 1 to 2 people that specialize in thyroid and hormones. Let's say myself and Dr. Childs. How about that? We're the 2 most knowledgeable people I know in the thyroid. So you're going to narrow it down, listen to just 2 people, get your information, and make some decisions. Maybe you work with me. Maybe you take the information to your doctor and cross your fingers that your doc has an open mind and actually wants to help you, other than treat you like a lab value and give you Band-Aids. And then in the final stage, what are we on? Stage 7. In the final stage, that stage is optimization. Because you've moved through everything. In that last stage, you decided to buckle down, take action, get legit information, work with an expert, work with a specialist, stop the doctor jumping, invest in your health, and make change. And then you move into that transformational journey / optimization phase. And this is where you are now on a solid journey. You have hope, you have direction, you have expert guidance in the thyroid and hormones, and you get to walk down a path and continually get better every day, every single day. Because whoever you're working with, and if it's me, we're going to use that both and theory of treating and optimizing your thyroid, also looking at and hormones and insulin. And yeah, we'll look at your gut and your adrenals. And we're going to point out everything that needs to be fixed. It's just not one thing, slap a pill on it and call it a day. Cross your fingers and hope that that works. I can give you thyroid meds all day long, but if you're eating like garbage and your insulin is high and your blood sugar is high and your liver's a mess and your testosterone is low and your progesterone is low and you're either estrogen dominant or you're low estrogen because you're heading into menopause, that little thyroid med is not going to work. We have to do both and. But in that final stage, that's where you start to make change. That's where you start to see the glimmer of hope. Your clothes fit better. Your energy's better. You start to see little baby hairs come back. And then from there, it's all uphill into that final stage of total optimization. And that's where you are living your best badass life. You can eat a brownie, gluten-free preferably. You can have a bun with your burger. You can have a couple glasses of wine on the weekend. And you don't gain weight like you did before. You make it all the way through your day with abundant energy. Can you imagine this? Just close your eyes. I know if you're in stage 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, that's really, really hard to imagine this stage. Close your eyes, picture it, picture it. I want you to picture having a sunny day, right? Because optimization is like a sunny day, even when it's cloudy and snowy like it is right now. Picture a sunny day and you wake up and you're like, you know what? I could probably not have a cup of coffee, but I'm going to have a cup of coffee because I want it and it tastes good. So I'm going to do me some 4-Sigmatic, get my mushrooms in, tastes like coffee, awesome, less caffeine, awesome. I'm going to start my day. You get in a good workout, you get ready for work, maybe you're planning a trip, doing something with the kids, and then all of a sudden you realize that it's 3 p.m. and you made it past that 2 p.m. slump. Oh, and let's back up to after you showered and you got dressed. You weren't trying on 5 different outfits, hoping that one fits, and eventually throwing in the towel and putting on your stretchy jeans or leggings or yoga pants because nothing fits. You actually put on a pair of jeans, button them, and you put on a top and you're not pulling at it, trying to stretch it out. And you actually look in the mirror and have confidence and give yourself a little smile because you're hot as shit and you're ready for the day. And you walk out with confidence. And you might not be at the exact weight you want to be, and you might not look exactly how you want to, but you look pretty damn good. And you know there's more changes coming. And you walk out and you enjoy the day, and you don't hit that 2 p.m. slump. And you get all the way to evening where your friends call. And they go, hey, do you want to meet out for a couple drinks just for happy hour? And for the first time in your life, you don't cringe. And you don't have that sinking feeling that you should say no, because you know that if you go, you're going to pick at some of the appetizers that they order, and you're going to have a couple of glasses of wine, and you're going to hate yourself and beat yourself up afterwards and get on the scale the next day, and it'll be up 2 and 3 pounds. And then you will just get into a cycle of self-loathing. No, that is done. You smile and you say, yeah, what time? Oh, you want to meet at 6? I'll be there. Cool. Order me a Cabernet. And you go and you have fun, and you enjoy a couple of glasses of wine, and you pick at the little appetizers that they ordered, and you laugh, and you go home and you watch some Netflix, and you get a good night's sleep. Yes, a good night's sleep. You fall asleep on your own, you stay asleep, and then you wake up and you start that day all over again. Rested, feeling good. Yep, I'll have my 4 Sigmatic coffee. Thank you. Let's kick this day's ass. Those are all the stages. I like to say stages of grief, but obviously that final stage is pretty amazing, of hypothyroidism. Now, depending on what stage you are in, kind of dictates what your next steps are. If you're in stages 1 through 6, you're going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to push yourself through those stages faster in order to get to that last stage of hope and amazement and a badass life and enjoyment and energy and feeling good and looking sexy and having fun with your friends, having fun with your family. You got to make some choices. And sometimes those choices are hard. Sometimes it means money investment. Sometimes it means time investment. Sometimes it means throwing out the Oreos that the kids like because you can't keep them in the house. So there's dietary changes, there's lifestyle changes, there's working with an expert changes, especially if you need med changes and hormone replacement therapy. You got to work with somebody that knows what the hell they're doing, or you're going to be a mess and you're going to be stuck in the first 6 stages for the rest of your life. Just circling back through them. Repeat, repeat, repeat. But I'm telling you, as I always do, that there is hope. And you, every single one of you, every single one can get to that last stage and feel amazing. It is possible. It is doable. It's going to take some work on your part, going to take some digging in, going to take some choices, might take some investment, but it's worth it, because this stage of optimization is a beautiful, beautiful stage. I've been in it for a long time. And I can tell you, I can finally live life, enjoy life, have energy, love my clothes, put them on, not pull on them to stretch them out, have a treat, have a glass of wine, have a bun with my burger, have the sweet potato fries that I love, maybe even an Oreo once in a while, because I love Oreos, and actually be okay. Not be sidetracked and going into self-loathing because I had 2 Oreos and a glass of wine. That's not a way to live. That's not how we were designed. So I want you to think about what stage you're in right now, what you need to do to move through those stages faster, and what action steps you need to take right now. Maybe it is, yeah, I'm patting myself on the back again. Maybe it's booking a call with me, because that's what I do, is I fix people. Side note, just cracks me up. I saw a message from somebody on Facebook who said they were going to see their endocrinologist and they're miserable and they have all these symptoms listed above and they've been to other doctors, and do I recommend anyone that knows the thyroid? I'm like, yeah, me. Why are you doctor jumping, crossing your fingers, wishing on a rainbow that maybe this one will treat you well, listen to you, listen to your symptoms, and have the answers? So yes, I'm telling you flat out, if you really want to move through those stages and get into the last stage, you might have to work with me. So you can book a discovery call. But my point in all of this is seriously to let you know and give you some thought points as to where you are in your journey and what you might need to change in your life to move through those stages even faster. Also to let you know that you're not alone, because we've all been through each and every one of those stages of grief of hypothyroidism.